So class, welcome to the lecture number 29th of the course. So basically I will be taking two lectures together, and the 28 like that is lecture number 28 and 29. So these two chapters, it will include the concept of earthing and on the role of batteries, types of batteries, as well as their characteristics. Okay, so before starting the earthing topic, I am first starting with this batteries. So basically, what are batteries? Why are batteries used? So these batteries are used to store electrical energy. Okay, so once this electrical energy is stored in the batteries, this energy can be retrieved from the batteries later. Okay, so why do we use batteries? Okay, why do we use batteries? So you know that we have certain electronic equipments, wireless equipments, like this mobile phones, laptops, watches. So these items, they are portable items. Okay, so moreover they are wireless items. So these equipments, they need some power source. Okay, to operate. So the power source, primary power source, which are used to operate or to provide power to such equipments, it is done by batteries. Okay, so in a battery, basically we have two things here. Let me get the pen first. Where's my pen? Okay, yeah, here I have the pen. So we have two things here. Number one is cell. Number one is cell, and number two is battery. Okay, so I telling you why are batteries used. They are used to store electrical energy, and this electrical energy can be retrieved later for some use. Number second, so in order to power our portable equipments, electronic equipments, or wireless electronic equipments like mobile phones, laptops, and toys, we need some power source. Okay, so these batteries, they are the primary power source for these wireless equipments. Okay, so we have cell and we have a battery. Okay, we know cell battery is nothing but a combination of cells. Combination of cells. Okay, battery is nothing but the combination of cells. So basically, what is battery? Battery is a combination of cells where energy is stored in the form of chemical energy. Okay, because we have battery or cell. You see, in a cell you have two electrodes and an electrolyte. So the energy is stored in electrolyte, and this electrolyte, it is a chemical substance. Okay, so I am saying that battery is nothing but a combination of cells where energy is stored in the form of chemical energy. So by energy stored in the form of chemical energy, it means that the electric current, any electric current that flows in the circuit, it is because of the chemical reaction that is taking place in the cell. Okay, so because of the chemical reaction that is taking place in the cell, electric current will flow in the circuit. Okay, the electric current may flow from the battery to the circuit, or the electric current may flow from the circuit to the battery, depending upon if the battery is charging or discharging. Now the next feature is that batteries are used. So I am saying, suppose that we have a surplus power. I have a surplus power in the system. Surplus power. What do you mean by surplus power? By surplus power, I means generation exceeds demand. Okay, by surplus power, I mean that generation exceeds demand. So whenever we have a surplus power in the system, what we do, some part of the surplus power, it is stored in the batteries. Okay, and when demand exceeds generation, this surplus power is again supplied back to the system. Okay, So these batteries, they play a very important role for a standalone or renewable energy based power system. For a standalone power system means like we take a case where we have this solar power system. Okay, suppose we have a solar panel at our rooftops, and during the daytime excess solar energy is generated, which is converted into electricity and stored in the batteries. Okay, so during the night hours, what we do, we extract the power that is stored in the battery to supply our lights, or to supply power to our lights or fans. Okay, so I am saying very important for standalone or renewable based power systems. Got it? So here I am saying, here is a diagram. I am saying that we have a generator here. So this is a generator bus, this is a line, okay, and we have a load bus here. At load bus we are connecting the load and we are connecting the battery as well. Okay, what is happening? Suppose we are saying that a generation is more than demand, means PG, this is power generated, and this is PD, load demand. I am saying PG is greater than PD. What will happen? So power is coming from generation side to the load side. So here some of the power is absorbed by the load, and the excess power that is supplied to the battery, means at that time the power will flow like this into the battery. Okay, so at times we say that due to some reason, suppose the demand increases, either the demand can increase or the generation can fall. So we are saying suppose the demand increases and the condition is like that the demand is more than generation. So now the demand is more than generation, this generation cannot supply power beyond PG. Okay, so and this PD is more than PG, this time what will happen? The power that was stored in the battery, that power will be supplied to the load. Okay, so that is why I am saying this is a unidirectional arrow. Power flows from generation to load demand. So this is also unidirectional arrow, means this load always consumes power. And I have shown a bidirectional arrow here. Bidirectional means the power can flow from this end to the battery, or it can flow from the battery to this end. Okay, means if the power is flowing like this, means charging of the battery, and if the power is flowing like this, means discharging of the battery. So one important point I would like to hear, that these batteries, they only store DC power, they do not store AC power. Okay, so they store energy in the form of AC voltage and DC voltage and current, and not in the form of AC voltage and current. Okay, so next I will say what is the difference between battery and a cell. So we know that what is a cell? Cell is a simply an energy source that delivers only DC voltage and current. Okay, so the stored energy in a cell, it is very small, or stored power, or the power that the cell can supply, it is very small. Voltage rating of the cell, it is of the order of 1.5 to 3 volt, depending upon the type of cell, which cell you are using. The voltage ranges from 1.5 volt to 3 volts. However, battery, what is battery? It is nothing but the series and parallel combination of cells. Means cells are connected either in series or parallel to form a battery. What is the symbol for a cell? Symbol for a cell is this, positive, negative. Okay, this is cell. What is the symbol for the battery? I am showing it here. So it is like this. Okay, this is battery, means we are connecting number of cells here. Okay, so I am saying a battery is nothing but the series and parallel combination of cells. So if you want to increase the voltage rating of a cell, of voltage rating of the battery, what we do, we connect cells in series. If you want to increase the voltage rating, cells are connected in series. And if you want to increase the current rating of the battery, what you do, you connect the cells in parallel. Okay, suppose we are saying that maximum the voltage range of a cell is from 1.5 to 3 volts, and suppose we want to fabricate a battery of voltage rating 12 volt. Okay, so if you want a voltage rating of 12 volt by using 3 volt cells, how many cells do you need? You need 4 cells of 3 volt connected in series, because 3 multiplied by 4, it will be 12 volts. Okay, so how many? Suppose it is for 3 volt cell. Suppose if you want a 12 volt battery, and you have a cell of 1.5 volt, how many cells you need to connect in series? You need to connect 6 cells in series. 6 cells of 1.5 volt are connected in series to make a battery of 12 volt, and 4 cells of 3 volts are connected in series to make a battery of 12 volts. Okay, so similarly, for increasing the current rating, cells are connected in parallel. Okay, so we are talking about battery or cell. So what are the major components of a battery or a cell? Okay, any cell or battery, the three major components of it has a three major components. Okay, any cell or battery, it has three major components. Out of the three major components, two are the electrodes and the third one is the electrolyte. So out of the three, two are electrodes and one is electrolyte. Got it? So out of the two electrodes, one is anode and one is cathode. Anode means negative electrode and cathode means positive electrode. And the third component is the electrolyte. Okay. So by changing the arrangement and the material of these electrodes and electrolytes, okay, means by changing the arrangement and material of these electrodes and electrolytes, we can have different types of cells or batteries. Okay, like if we are using we have a sodium ion battery, we have a lithium ion battery, we have a lead acid battery, we have a nickel cadmium battery, etc. Okay, so I'm saying by using different arrangements and different types of materials for these electrodes and electrolyte, we can have different types of batteries. Okay, so these are the main three components of a battery: anode, cathode and electrolyte. Now coming to the classification of batteries. The batteries can be classified according to the material of electrodes and electrolytes, but generally the batteries are classified into two major types. Okay, generally the batteries are classified into two major types. The first is the primary batteries and the second is the secondary batteries. So what do you mean by primary batteries? Primary batteries means that cannot be recharged. Okay, primary batteries means that cannot be recharged again and again. In such type of batteries, the once the chemical reaction has taken place, okay, so and the cell starts discharging. Okay, the cell starts discharging, and in this type of batteries, it is not possible to reverse the chemical reaction. Okay, means we cannot reverse the chemical reaction. However, in secondary batteries, these secondary batteries, they are also called as chargeable batteries, like the inverters which we are using at our homes. Okay, like the batteries that are used in our mobile phones, laptops, so they all are secondary batteries. However, the example of the primary batteries are the cells that are used in our TV remote controls, cells that are used in our watches, they are the primary batteries. Okay, so in secondary batteries, the chemical reaction can be reversed. Okay, if we are reversing the chemical reaction, so we are doing, we are again charging the battery, means we can again recharge the battery. However, in case of primary batteries, the recharging is not possible. Okay, so the primary batteries examples are the cells that are used in our remote controls, in our watches, and the example of the secondary batteries are the batteries that are used in our homes, inverters, the batteries that are used in our mobile phones, the batteries that are used in our laptops. Okay, so what are primary batteries? Primary batteries, they cannot be charged. Sorry, not yes, they cannot be recharged. It should be more appropriate. They cannot be recharged means they are made of electrochemical cells whose electrochemical reaction cannot be reversed. Okay, so in primary batteries, we are saying that electrochemical reaction, it cannot be reversed. So I'm saying in okay, but they have some advantages in these now primary batteries. They have some advantages. The advantages are that is they have high specific energy, means they have high specific energy and are used in circuits they are designed to consume low amount of power. Okay, I am saying the primary batteries, they have high specific energy and are used to in circuits that are designed for low amount of that are designed to consume low amount of power. To consume low amount of power means they are used in the circuit which draws low load current, means which draws which draws low load current, means the discharge rate is very slow. Okay, so examples of this, I think the visibility clarity is an issue. Let me I cannot zoom in now because then I have to stop the video and I have to make the new video. Okay, so I am saying that these primary batteries, they are used in circuit that are designed to consume low power, means they will draw low load current of the order of milliamperes. Okay, the most popular example of the primary batteries are the alkaline batteries. So the advantages of the alkaline batteries are that they are environmental friendly, they are cost effective, because you know primary batteries, the cells that you are using in your remote control TV remotes, you see they are cheap, okay, environment friendly, and once they have the advantage, if they are completely discharged, they do not leak. Do not leak, by do not make leak, you see the inverters that you have at your homes now. If you see the batteries, so while discharging or charging, some sludge is formed over the electrodes. Okay, some sludge material or mud is formed on the electrodes. However, in case of this alkaline batteries, there is no such no such mud formation takes place. So that is why we say that they do not leak. Okay, and that's why they are environmental friendly. Means no chemical material comes out of the cell or battery after when they are completely discharged. So these advantages, that is, these alkaline batteries, they can store energy for a very long time, means several years. If you have a cell, you can keep that cell, if you are not using that cell, so that cell will keep that energy within it for maybe for years, okay, or months, which is not the case with this batteries that we use in our, like the inverters or mobile phones. You keep the mobile phone there in a switch off mode, you turn on the mobile after 1 month or 2 months, it will not turn on. So you have to first recharge that your mobile, and then only that mobile will turn on. Okay, so but however, in case of this cell, you can just purchase a cell from the market which may have been manufactured 2 years back, and you can use it in the remote control, and it will work absolutely fine. Okay, though because they have advantages, but there is one disadvantage that is associated with this primary or alkaline batteries. And the disadvantage is that the alkaline batteries, I told you, they are used in the circuit that are designed to consume low amount of power, which means low load current, means these batteries, they will supply low load current, and they cannot be used for applications, high power applications, means the mobile remote control cell, it cannot be used for high power applications. Okay, so because it draws a very low current, that is the reason. So conclusion from primary batteries, what have we concluded? Cycle life is more, okay, means compatible and efficient powering portable devices, because you know that these cells, primary cells or batteries, they are compact, they can be transported easily from one place to another. Okay, so we are saying that are efficient for powering portable devices. Second, shelf life is more. Third is smaller in size. Okay, they are very small in size. Also, they have a very low internal resistance. So if they have a very low internal resistance, self discharge will be very less, even in the ideal state. Okay, self discharge means you are not using the cell, but the cell is itself discharging. Okay, like in like the batteries in mobiles and in inverters, if you will not use it, okay, you just charge the mobile once, and you just charge your inverter once, and you just turn off the power supply, or you just turn off your inverter or mobile phone, still there will be some discharging will take place. Okay, so that discharging will depend upon the internal resistance of the battery. So in case of this primary batteries, they have a very low internal resistance, so so the discharge in the ideal state it is also very less. Now the second form of batteries which are mostly used for high power applications, they are the secondary batteries. And in secondary batteries we know that we can reverse the chemical reaction. Okay, once the battery is discharged, we can reverse the electrochemical reaction so that the battery can again be charged. So that is why they are also called as rechargeable batteries, and they are used for high power application where power requirement is high or high load current. High power application means we need more power. For more power we need more current. So I am saying they are used where power requirement is high or where high load current is required. Okay, so they are used in circuits which requires frequent charging and discharging. Means I told you primary, they are used in circuits with that are designed to consume low load current. And in this case I am saying that they are used in circuits which requires frequent charging and discharging. Frequent charging and discharging means your laptops, your mobiles. You charge your mobiles once or twice a day. Okay, so if you want to use this primary battery for your mobile, if you will use a primary battery for your mobile, you need to replace 3 or 4 cells daily. Okay, because you cannot recharge it. Once your cell gets discharged, then you will have to throw it and then you have to purchase the new one, and you can use your mobile. Okay, so in those circuits which requires frequent charging and discharging, these primary batteries, they are not a good solution. Okay, though they are cheap, but in the long run, if you want to use the mobile for 2 or 3 years, you need to replace 2 or 3 cells daily, then the cost will be very high. Okay, so in those cases we use secondary batteries, because in secondary batteries they can be charged and discharged easily. So that is why these secondary batteries, they are used in circuits which requires frequent charging and discharging. Got it? So these secondary batteries, they can be small rating batteries and they can be high rating batteries. High rating batteries are also called as heavy duty batteries. Now these small rating batteries, they can be used to power portable electronic equipments like mobile phones and laptops. However, the heavy duty batteries, they are used for high power applications, means where this load current is very high. Okay, so I am saying small rating batteries, secondary batteries used for portable power electronics like cell phones, and heavy duty batteries are used to power electrical vehicles and other high drain applications. High drain application means where high current is needed. Got it? So I told you that this secondary batteries, they are used in circuits which requires frequent charging and discharging. Okay, if I am saying if instead of these secondary batteries, if we will use primary batteries there, though the initial cost will be very high, initial cost though the initial cost of the secondary batteries, it will be high compared to the primary batteries, because these secondary batteries, they may cost you 2,000 or 3,000 for a mobile. However, a primary battery or a cell, it will cost you rupees 15. Okay, but for a long run, means for if you want to use this the equipment for 2 or 3 years continuously, there you will have to replace this primary batteries frequently, means daily you have to remove the battery. So for a long run, the cost effectiveness of primary batteries, it is very low as compared to the cost effectiveness of the secondary batteries. Now let's come to the type of the secondary batteries. So depending upon the material that is used, the secondary batteries are classified as nickel cadmium batteries, okay, lithium ion batteries, nickel metal hydride battery, and lead acid battery. So first let us come to the nickel cadmium batteries. So nickel cadmium batteries, one battery uses nickel oxide, hydroxide, and metallic cadmium as electrodes. Now this metallic cadmium, it is used as a negative electrode, and nickel oxide, it is used as a positive electrode. Okay. Now the second important point about the nickel cadmium batteries is that they are rarely used though they are rarely used. Why they are rarely used, we will see later, because this nickel cadmium, it is not toxic in nature, so it is not can cause health hazards to the people. And if once you have used this nickel cadmium battery and you want to dispose it, so it is also an issue because of the toxic nature. It may affect the environment. Okay, so I am saying, though they are rarely used, but they are cheap, and their discharge rate is very low when compared to nickel metal hydride battery. Okay, so their discharge rate is very low. Discharge rate means they discharge slowly as compared to the nickel metal hydride batteries. Okay, and they are cheap as compared to the nickel metal hydride batteries. So the nominal voltage of nickel cadmium batteries, it is 1.2 volt, and power density is 60 watt hour per kg. What? 60 watt hour per kg is the power density, and nominal voltage is 1.2 volt. So these as you can see that the voltage level is very low, 1.2 volts. So often these nickel cadmium batteries, they are connected in series in a set of 3. If you are using a 3 nickel cadmium batteries that are connected in series, I will get a voltage of 3 multiplied by 1.2 is nothing but 3.6 volt. Okay, so they are often available in a set of 3 batteries, series connected batteries, these nickel cadmium batteries. Now coming to the advantages of the nickel cadmium batteries, it is cheap in cost, easy to recharge, it can be used in all environments, means their operation is not affected by the environment around you, means they can operate at low temperature, they can operate at high temperature, they can operate it in humid and moist conditions. Okay, so and these nickel cadmium batteries, they are come in all standard sizes. So these are the advantages of the nickel cadmium batteries. Here look, voltage is 1.2 volt. Okay, now let us come to the drawbacks of the nickel cadmium battery. So I told you that they are not often used. Okay, I told you they are rarely used. Okay, why they are rarely used? Because I'm saying that it is not environmental friendly, because it contains toxic material. So this toxic material is not good for the health of the person. Okay, suppose in the industry where they are manufactured, there are people, they may get contaminated with this toxic material, and it will have a very bad effect on their health. Moreover, once these batteries are once their life cycle is finished, okay, so then you have to dispose these batteries. So because of the toxic nature of the material that is used, it will pose a threat to the environment. Okay, so their disposal is also a problem. The second disadvantage is they have low power density. Okay, I told you they have low power density. What is the power density? 60 watt hour per kg, means for 1 kg weight of the battery, we will get only 60 watt hour of power. Okay, which is low, and voltage is 1.2 volt, which is also low. So they have low power density, means low power density. How much was the power density? 60 watt hour per kg, means for 1 kg weight of the battery, you are getting only 60 watt hour of power. Okay, so another drawback is that needs frequent charging. Okay, this nickel cadmium battery, it needs frequent charging to avoid the crystal growth on the battery plates. Okay, so in order to avoid the crystal growth on the battery plates, which often occurs when the battery is discharged, okay, to avoid the formation of that crystal growth, you need to recharge this battery frequently. Okay, needs frequent charging to avoid crystal growth on the battery plate. So where are these nickel cadmium batteries used? They are used in cordless phones, they are used in solar lights, they are mostly used in application where price is an important factor. Okay, because they are cheap. If we can say that for some application we need this type of where we say that we want the low cost. So for these applications, this nickel cadmium battery is used. And for solar lights application, means for solar lights, suppose we want to supply street lights using this solar panel. So there we need a battery to store the energy, and that battery is often subjective because it is an outdoor activity. Street lights, so which are powered by solar lights. So there, this we need some that type of battery which is not affected by the environmental conditions. So there, this nickel cadmium batteries are used. Now the next type of battery is the nickel metal hydride battery. So nickel metal hydride battery. So they are much more profit compared to the nickel cadmium battery. So because they have lower environmental effect as compared to the nickel cadmium battery. So that is why they are much more in use. So their nominal voltage is 1.25 volt. So if you will see the nominal voltage of this nickel cadmium battery, it was 1.2 volts. So it is nominal voltage for this nickel metal hydride battery is 1.2 volt, which is 0.05 volt more than the nickel cadmium battery. Okay, but it is less than this alkaline type of battery. For alkaline type of battery, it was from 1.5 to 3 volt. So it is less than the nickel alkaline battery, but more than the nickel cadmium battery. But the power density is high, 100 watt or per kg. Means for 1 kg weight of the battery, we will get 100 watt hours of power. Okay. However, in case of a this nickel cadmium battery, it was only 60 watt hour per kg. Okay. So the advantages is that it is available in all standard sizes. Okay. It has higher power density, 100 watt hour per kg, easy to recharge, and it is a good replacement of alkaline based batteries, which has almost all similarities and is also rechargeable. Means in all application where we can use the alkaline batteries, there we can use this nickel metal hydride batteries, because this there in alkaline batteries, it is the primary battery, it cannot be recharged. Okay, so I'm saying for all applications we can, where alkaline batteries are used, there nickel metal hydride batteries can be used, or it is a replacement for the alkaline batteries because it is rechargeable. Got it? So next is the disadvantages. Disadvantage means self discharge is very high. If the self discharge is very high, it will not store power for longer intervals. Like your cells that is used in your remote control, if you are not using it, it may store energy for months, for 5 months, 6 months. However, in case of this nickel metal hydride battery, the self discharge is very high. Means even if the battery is once fully charged and it is disconnected from the circuit, okay, still it will some discharge will take place within the battery, and that discharge will be high. So if that discharge will be high, means we cannot store energy for long intervals of time. Okay. So the another disadvantage is it is expensive than nickel cadmium battery. Okay, so nickel cadmium batteries are cheaper, but they are not environmental friendly, so we cannot use them because health is a major concern. Health and environment, they are major concerns. So applications of this nickel cadmium battery are nickel metal hydride battery are used. They are used in all applications similar to alkaline and nickel cadmium batteries. Means in all applications where we are using alkaline batteries and nickel cadmium batteries, there we can use the nickel metal hydride battery. Now the third type of battery that is most popular type of battery, or most popular type of rechargeable battery, it is the lithium ion battery. So it is the lithium ion battery is the latest rechargeable technology that is in use, this lithium ion battery. So these batteries, they are made up of lithium metal. Okay, here the material that is used, it is lithium. So one important feature of lithium ion battery is that they are very compact. Okay, you know that batteries that is used in your mobile phones, it is a lithium ion battery. Just check your battery, mobile phone battery, it is a lithium ion battery. You know, it is a very compact battery, and they are very compact in size. So because of their compact nature, they are most favorable for portable application. Those portable application which requires higher power specification. Okay, though alkalines were also used, but there the higher power specification was low, means load current was low. However, in lithium ion battery, they are also suitable for portable application, but where power specifications are very high. So they have a nominal voltage of 3.7 volt nominal voltage, and the voltage minimum and maximum range is 3.6 volt to 7.2 volt. Okay, so the power capacity range is hundreds, can go up to hundreds of milliampere hour to thousands of milliampere hour. Means power capacity ranges means hundreds, it can be 100 milliampere hour, it can be 200 milliampere hour, 500 milliampere hour, or 1000 milliampere hour, 2000 milliampere hour, 3000 milliampere. Means from 100 milliampere to few thousand milliampere hour is the power capacity range of the lithium ion battery. So this lithium ion battery, it is used in mobile phones, smart devices, and other battery appliances that are used at homes. Okay, so because you know that they are used for high power applications. So mobile is a high power application. Your battery, it is suppose 4000 milliampere, or other smart devices and battery and other devices that you use at your home, they use this lithium ion batteries. So also used because of their compactness and low weight. You know what is the weight of the battery that you use in your mobile? It is very small, low weight. The weight of the mobile phone itself is very small. Okay, so apart from battery, there are other circuits, which are other equipments also, which are used in the mobile phone. So their weight is low. Because of their low weight, they are used in aerospace applications and defense applications. Okay, this is an important point. That is, because of their low weight, they are used in aerospace and defense applications. Now, what are the advantages? Light in weight, high C rating. High C rating is related to power rating. I will tell you after 5 minutes. I will explain this. What is this C rating? It is light in weight, high C rating or high power rating. Cell voltage is high, 3.6 volt. I told you, it is 3.6 volt or what? It's 3.7 volt. So it has a high cell voltage, and power density is very high. Okay. What was the power density? Hundreds of milliampere hour. Okay. However, it has a certain disadvantage. What are the disadvantage? These batteries are expensive. Now, lithium ion batteries. So because of the technology that is used, it increases the cost of this lithium ion batteries. So that is why these batteries, they are used in costly equipments. Means like they are used in equipments where the cost of the equipment is itself very high. So the use of this lithium ion battery, it will be justified, because it is not if you purchase a remote control for your TV from the market, it will cost you 200 rupees or 300 rupees. But at the same time, if you will purchase a lithium ion battery, it may cost you 800,000 or 2,000 or 5,000 rupees. So if you will use these lithium ion batteries in remote control, so the cost of the remote controls will go very high, and it will affect the sale as well. Okay, so that's why we are using these lithium ion batteries in those equipments where the equipment itself is very costly. Okay, so the second disadvantage of this lithium ion batteries is that if the two terminals of the battery, they are short circuited, then there are chances that the battery may get exploded. Okay, so short circuit of the terminal might cause the explosion in the battery. So a proper protection circuit is required in this lithium ion battery. You must have heard a number of times that, okay, mobile battery, it exploded, there was a blast. Okay, it is because of this reason. Whenever short circuit of the terminals takes place, there are chances that the battery may explode. Now this is the lithium ion battery. I am again telling you, this is the battery that is used in our mobile phones. Okay, and it is a very compact battery. Compact means volume is very small. Okay, size is very small. So now the last type of the battery is the lead acid battery. So these are called as the heavy duty batteries. Okay, and because of this heavy duty battery, and they have a very huge weight. Because of their huge weight, they cannot be used for portable applications. Okay. So I am saying they are very large. They are very large and heavy. Means their weight is very high and their size is also big. So they are used in non-portable applications. Non-portable applications such as solar panel storage, okay, backup power like inverters and lights for lighting purpose they are used. So they are used for heavy duty applications, like you have seen inverters at your homes. So the batteries that are used in your inverters, they are these lead acid batteries, okay. And you know that these batteries, they are too heavy, they have a very high, very huge weight, okay. So I'm saying because of that huge weight, they are not used for non-portable applications, okay. They are not used for portable applications, they are used for non-portable applications, okay. And are used for heavy duty applications. Heavy duty applications means where the load current is very high, okay. Though they have very low energy to volume ratio and energy to weight ratios, okay. Means low energy to volume and energy to weight ratio. It is because of the very heavy weight of the battery, okay. These batteries are very heavy. So if you will take the ratio of the energy to volume and energy to weight, they are very heavy and the size is also more huge size. So because of these reasons, energy to volume and energy to weight ratio is low, okay. This is a disadvantage. So though they have a large power to weight ratio, this can store a large amount of power, they have a large power to weight ratio and can supply huge surge currents when needed. Huge surge currents means they can supply very high current. So that is why they are used for high current power application. So this is important: low energy to volume and energy to weight ratio, high power to weight ratio, okay, and are used in high current application, power applications, okay. Now let us discuss some of the terminologies, basic terminologies that are used in this batteries. So the first basic terminology that we use, it is the power capacity. What is the power capacity? Power capacity is nothing but the energy stored in a battery measured in watt hour. So what is watt hour? Watt hour is nothing but the product of, what is watt? Watt is nothing but the product of voltage into current. And what is watt hour? Product of voltage into current and time in hours, okay. So it is the energy stored in a battery measured in watt hour. So watt hour is nothing, voltage into current is nothing, time voltage into current is nothing, power. So power multiplied by time in hours will give you energy. You know that what is P? You know what is power? Power is V into I. What is energy? It is V into I into T. T is time. So here I am saying this energy V into I is nothing, watt. Time is nothing, hours, okay. So energy is nothing, watt hour, okay. So that is power capacity is nothing but energy stored in a battery measured in watt hour. So watt hour is nothing but voltage into current into time in hours. Since we know that the voltage, it is a constant quantity, voltage of a battery is constant, okay. So thus we can say that the power capacity is measured in ampere hours, okay. Because we say voltage is constant, so we will say that the power capacity is measured in ampere hours or milliampere hours. Power capacity is measured in ampere hours or milliampere hours. So what do you mean by ampere hour or milliampere hour? Suppose I am saying that I have a battery with a capacity of 2500 milliampere or 4000 milliampere or 6000 milliampere hour, okay. 2500 milliampere hour, 4000 milliampere hour or 6000 milliampere. So this is the battery capacity. So this specifies that a battery has a capacity of has a capacity to supply 2500 milliampere of currents or 4000 milliampere of current or 6000 milliampere of current to the load for 1 hour. Let me show you here. Suppose I am saying, I will take a case of suppose I am taking 6000 milliampere hour. So I have a battery of rating 6000, capacity 6000 milliampere hour. This means I will convert this milliampere into ampere. It will be 6 ampere hour, okay. Milliampere has been converted into ampere, got it. So I am saying that this battery, it has a capacity to supply, to supply 6 amperes of current to load for 1 hour. So for 1 hour it can supply 6 amperes of current to the load. Okay, so what will happen if I will say that the current, where is the page? Yes, here. So I am saying it will supplies 6 amperes for 1 hour. So I am saying for how much time it will supply 3 ampere current. First, second case, same battery. No, it was 6 ampere for 1 hour. If I am saying it that the load current is 3 ampere, so it will supply 3 ampere of current for 2 hours. And I am saying if the load current is 1 ampere, then it will supply 1 ampere of current for 6 hours. Why? You know that it is 6 ampere hour. 6 ampere hour. Okay, if the current is 6 ampere, if current is 6 ampere, this is current, this is time. I'm saying if current is 6 ampere, time is 1 hour. Okay, 6 multiplied by 1, 6 ampere hour. I'm saying if the current is 3 ampere, the time will be 2 ampere, means it can supply 3 amperes of current for 2 hours. So 3 into 6, again 6 ampere hour. So I'm saying if it can supply a current of 1 ampere, for how much time it can supply a current of 1 ampere? For 6 hours. So that's 1 into 6 is nothing, 6 ampere hour. So the product of these two, it should be 6 ampere hour. Got it? Are you getting it? So here I am taking a case of a battery of capacity 2500 milliampere hour. 25 ampere milliampere is nothing but 2.5 amperes. Okay, so I am saying this battery will deliver 2.5 ampere for 1 hour, and if I will reduce the power current rating by half, means it will deliver 1.25 ampere of current for 2 hours. And if I will divide the current by 5, so means it will deliver a current of 0.5 ampere for 5 hours. So this 0.5 multiplied by 5 is 2.5 again. So it will be 2.5 ampere hour capacity. Okay, so what I am trying to say, I mean time multiplied by current, it should be nothing but it should be the equal to the battery capacity always. If you are reducing the current by some factor, by the same factor you will increase the time. Okay, if you are reducing the current by some factor, by the same factor you will increase the time. Okay, so this was this was number one, power capacity. So this was important terms. So this was power capacity. So rest of the terms I will discuss in the second lecture. Okay.